Hola, soy Julio César Chávez.
That's lights out, baby. Lights out all day.
This is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a one-hour television spectacular.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
We gon' know. I got eyes and ears everywhere. I got friends all over the world, man.
Who gives a shit with Whitey's? A piece of crap.
With a tear in my eye.
And welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Labshay, Miguel Antonio Barragon, in no particular order. I say that as the wind comes rushing through here. I hope it doesn't sound too blowy for everybody. I'm here at the pool in Vegas. You guys just had rain, Miguel. Mm-hmm. I mean, I drove through it on the way in.
The last 2 nights.
It's nice. I'm out by the pool. It's a little overcast. It's a little windy. Might actually have to close the back of my cabana. But I'm so disappointed I didn't bring golf clubs, and I knew it the minute I didn't bring my golf clubs. It would be golf club weather. And it is. Story of my life. I digress. My name's Lee Honish. This show is about boxing. We start with the longest standing co-host, co-producer, co-everything, good friend, Andrew Labshay. How are you? Catch us up. What's the last week and a half been like, Andrew?
It was relaxing. I was up in the mountains, took the family camping. We didn't do a tent. We did a cabin because we got too many little kids, even though they found a way to open the back door to the cabin. So they still kind of gave us a scare for a minute. But yeah, it was good. Everything was good. Oh, both boys caught a fish. First fish for both of them. That was good.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Junior did it the official original way, right? Pole's bouncing, he picks it up, sets hook, starts reeling. At first, he wasn't reeling. Swear to God, he started turning in circles, you guys. He was like, just turning. I was like, what are you doing?
He maypoled it. He maypoled it. Like he was wrapping it around himself to pull it in. I like that.
So I had to show him how to reel, and then he started reeling it. He got it. And his little fish was fighting, too, so it was pretty cool. Then Giovanni got excited because he's seen his brother catching a fish, so he comes running over, but he runs in front of his pole, so he takes his line with him, right? He's got his fishing line all wrapped up in his legs. I say, Giovanni, stop. He does about 3 turns, wraps the fishing line around his legs. I say, son of a gun. So I get the fish off the hook, get that back in the water, put Junior's pole down, go to Giovanni, undo the fishing line on his legs. His pole starts bouncing. I don't know when he snagged his fish. I don't know if it was when he ran across his line or what, but he had one. He just had one as soon as we got it off his legs. So he reeled his in and he had his fish. Junior went on to catch 2 more during the week. So yeah, he did good.
I have a bigger question. When it came to killing and gutting the fish, I want to know about Junior. Did he go full thug life and whack the fish himself and cut off the head and cut out the guts?
No, I was trying to use big enough hooks because the trout were very small at this time. They were about 10 inches, 8 to 10 inches, I would say, the trout. So I was trying to use a bigger hook so they wouldn't swallow the hook, and you can then let them go.
You're just catch and release. What a nice guy. I still would have eaten him.
I did give one of my neighbors 4 trout. I went back on my own, you guys. I had to go fishing. These fucking kids, 15 minutes into it. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go see my cousins. I want to go to the night. One of the mornings I left their ass there. I went and almost caught my limit. What is it? I think it's 5. I did 4. And
nice.
I gave it to the guy next to me. He didn't have any. He was fishing with lures. He didn't have any. So I asked him if he wanted mine. He said, yeah. So I gave it to him.
Wow. And Miguel, did you have any first this past week?
No firsts at all. Basically, thirds and fourths, pretty much. It was 4th of July weekend, so my sister's birthday is at the end of June, so we kind of did a 4th of July birthday type deal. She lives in California. She came to Vegas. We celebrated. We did the whole shebang. I would say that I did go to a nightclub, which I had not done in freaking over a decade. Yeah.
That's a first.
I didn't dance, of course. I just pretty much drank and watched everybody there. But that's essentially the gist of my weekend.
Wow. That's exciting. Sounds exciting.
It was fun.
I had a first.
Hmm.
My daughter drove me to the movies.
Oh,
Yeah, first time. And that was pretty spectacular. That was the first time as her as a legal driver. How can this be? I literally came over to be in this particular, like, what is it that I'm just cursed and can't find a plug anywhere in the United States? Just having a really bad time with plugs today, guys. But I digress. There's been a lot of news, so let's just do the news right off the top, shall we? The biggest news is Tyson Fury gets canceled because of COVID. Am I the only one who thinks that's crazy?
How about thinks that's real? How about that one?
You think it's fake?
Well, from what the rumor is that they're waiting. The ticket sales were not doing good, and they're waiting for the what is it, London to open up. I guess they still have some travel bans somewhere, right? They're still questioning. They're saying that if they wait a little longer, maybe those bans will come up, and more fans will be able to come over to watch the fight. That's what I've seen online at least.
So you're not buying it?
No, you know another thing that came up real fast. Did you guys see how he tweeted out he was heading home? And everyone was like, if you have COVID, how are they letting him go home? Like, you think he would have to do that in Las Vegas?
Well,
doesn't he have a house
didn't
here?
have COVID.
No?
The team had COVID, right? Like that
No,
was
right. Oh, he did.
Yes, I believe Tyson Fury had symptoms. He had symptoms and he was sick also. Yes, look it up, Lee, but I believe so.
Huh. You know, let's see what happens when I don't immerse myself in boxing for a week and a half. All I did was see the headline. I saw it on Fight Net Radio because even Andrew on vacation will continue to post on Fight Net Radio whatever he finds. I just assumed that it was the team or there were enough of them on the team that they went, no, we're not doing this. That was my vibe to the whole thing. I didn't really want to deep dive on the story. I want to believe that it's real. I'm just telling you that let's talk about Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence that's literally coming up here in, 3 or 4 weeks. We talked about this. Groupon is selling tickets to that fight. Like, I don't think they've really thought through doing a major fight in Vegas, like getting an actual arena together. It's not Bruno Mars. It's not Miley Cyrus Resort World. It's not one of these little small things at the Virgin Hotel. You're talking about, 10 to 15,000 people for boxing to justify one of these fights. And, is it any different than Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez and now Lopez? I mean, it's kind of the segue into the Lopez story, right? Where he's saying, yeah, I'm not fighting this dude. And I'm willing to drop my belt and not fight this dude because I don't want to do this fight, period. And I don't believe it's because he wants to fight him.
Right? You're talking about Lopez Kambosos, right?
Yeah.
Did you see what Triller's asking him to do again?
Uh-oh.
No, what's up now?
They want to fight back in Australia. I think that's the only place they were selling tickets. They tried to bring the champ home and they couldn't sell a fucking ticket, but they were probably selling good when they were going to do it the first time over in Australia, right? Australia, those guys, they like their boxing out there. They'll support their fans. Teofimo Lopez don't have no fans in America. So, and his manager was like, hey, I thought we were the fucking champion or some shit like that. It was funny. It's like, money talks, man. Bullshit walks, right? So you could talk all I'm the one, I'm the next one. I need to get all this money. But if you can't sell a ticket, fuck, that fight's going back to Australia. Kambosos now the favorite.
Wow. Yeah, he's prepared to drop the IBF belt. I was looking at the story recently, and he just doesn't want to deal with Triller and this fight, and I guess apparently Australia. And I don't know, where that really falls on him, kind of, whatever.
I'll let you get in. I just wanted to update you guys. Mike Coppinger, he did report July 8th Tyson Fury tested positive for COVID-19. So
then he jumped on a plane. So it's a miraculous form.
yeah, that's what everyone's like. How's he go? What do you mean he's going home? So who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, I did see like a tweet, or I think it was a tweet or an Instagram post by Teofimo to Tyson, like, "Oh, snap, man, it got you guys too," kind of deal. And it's like, wait a second. And then the picture had like Teofimo right next to fucking Tyson, and it's like, okay, hold up. It's like, Teofimo and his people saying like, shit, we're not selling enough tickets here. Maybe we should go to fucking, maybe Triller's thinking, damn, we're not, selling enough tickets here. And then they're gonna use the COVID reason, that excuse. And then Tyson overheard that and is like, actually, it's not a bad idea. Let's give it a little bit of time. Yeah, I got COVID too, guys. So
that would segue into sort of the last topic on these sort of series of things I wanted to talk about, which is Spence and Pacquiao, right, had their press conference, and we know this because we covered it. They're selling tickets on Groupon to go to this fight, which to me is crazy. Like, this fight should sell itself almost. And what if there is an issue? What if you can only get together 1,000 boxing fans because it's not Texas and Canelo? Or what if Vegas is currently snake bit and they can't really draw crowds? I mean, I'm here right now. I'm here because of a couple of conventions, actually, but it's mind-boggling to think that maybe Vegas has an issue with putting together fights. Big fights, not regular fights. Like, anybody can fill the Virgin. Anybody can fill these, these ball. Look, I'm even convinced that Bob could probably have it at the Park MGM and fill that room for a fight. But when you're talking one of these arenas like T-Mobile,
you're talking millions, Lee. Millions of dollars compared to like a TV payout,
Interesting. Interesting. Well, we'll see if Manny Pacquiao contracts HIV before the
Hello?
That was funny. That was a joke. You just let that one go, Andrew. You just let it go.
You're breaking up on me a lot, man. I'm sorry about that.
Am I breaking up to you, Miguel?
No, it sounds like you slowed down a little bit, like but I mean, like, I can still get every word you're saying.
Okay. No, I quieted down a little bit. The wind's not quite as bad, and I don't feel like I have to yell. But I can certainly talk in my louder voice for everybody. I'm just using a lapel mic so that I can sit here and lounge about in my half-nakedness by the pool in the cabana and look awesome. I mean, what's the point of being on keto for month after month and dropping all the weight and, taking the clenbuterol and getting rocked up for no apparent reason? But I digress. Let's talk more boxing. Enough about me and my clenbuterol taking, which, by the way, everything we said on this show was 100% accurate about clenbuterol. I recommend it to anybody. And testosterone, by the way. Testosterone. Those of you who are above the age of 40, testosterone. There's an ad for our newest sponsor, testosterone. All right, let's move forward.
Hey,
Wait a
minute. Did you guys watch the Pacquiao Spence press conference?
I'm the one who put
saw
the
bits and
video
pieces
together and got it online.
I found it real interesting when she asked Spence, now that who was his last fight? Who did Spence like? Danny Garcia? Was that his last?
Garcia? Yeah.
Yeah. She goes, now that the Garcia's fight is over, do you feel your chin has been tested? Did anyone catch that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't catch that. What did he answer?
He answered, yeah, of course. Yes, I think it has. What I found interesting is I remember they said he lost some teeth in that car accident.
He did.
But I wonder if he broke his jaw.
I bet he did. Certainly, if you broke teeth, you probably fractured your jaw. But I'll go a step further. I didn't watch necessarily what they were saying because that's usually bullshit at a press conference. I was watching his body language, and he seriously looks like somebody who stole money. Like, he sat there guilty, like he did something, and he was waiting for everybody to call him on it. And if you look, this is my impression, and tell me if I'm wrong. Boy, the press / boxing scene in PBC which are one and the same, we've covered many times. Boy, we're playing up that don't sleep on Pacquiao kind of thing. Am I wrong about this? Like, are they just playing it up because it's a real fight, or are they playing it up because, yeah, let's hedge our bet? So if Manny Pacquiao wins, he's a goddamn GOAT, and we still don't know if Errol Spence is Errol Spence. And was Errol Spence ever Errol Spence? That's a good question. Let's start with the first question. Is Errol Spence actually Errol Spence to get to this point prior to the accident? Was Errol Spence legit? I start with you, Andrew Labouche.
It's kind of of course, he's not the same after the accident. So
I'm talking about before. Did you think him a legit welterweight champion?
Yes. Yeah, he did some good things coming up as a prospect. Going over to the UK and beating Kell Brook was one of his bigger moments of his career. Just because he traveled over the pond to do it. Not too many American champions will make that trip and actually pull it off. So he got a lot of respect from doing that. Yes, Lee, I thought Spence was going to be the truth. I thought he was going to be one of the big faces of boxing, even though he was with the PBC and now Heyman. I thought just I had a little bit more faith that Heyman was going to make him a bigger star than what he actually is right now. And well, he still has a shot to make some big pay-per-view money. He's in his 30s now. His prime years are over. He's on the downside now. So, at least for athletes, especially if they do the Mayweather blueprint, he'll fight nothing but older fighters. But that's the sad part about the Spence career is I thought he'd be way bigger than where he is right now. We'll see what this pay-per-view does. I think it'll do 1 million because Pacquiao is still a star and the PBC has a good following. They're a miniature WWE kind of fan base, right? These guys, they're loyal to the PBC. They watch nothing but. I think half of their fan base doesn't even tune into other fights. If you monitor the chat rooms, a big percentage of the PBC fans will strictly talk PBC fighters, and they knock everything else about boxing. Like everything else sucks. PBC guys run the shit. Mayweather runs the shit. They all make money. Everyone else is stupid. It's really like that real immature attitude you have out there with a lot of the PBC fans. So I believe they will buy into this fight. They're going to call Manny the GOAT under Mayweather, and then when Spence beats them, they're going to lose their shit all over the internet, thinking this guy is the second coming to Mayweather.
Okay, then I move over to you, Miguel. Do you legitimize? Good word today, Lee. After a 5-hour drive, do you legitimize Errol Spence?
That's a fantastic word, a 4-syllable word. It's excellent, Lee.
Thank you.
So
I read it in one of the books you gave me. These big words.
There you go. Big vocabulary. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so. Yeah, I mean, I think. Oh shit.
Where did everyone go?
Can you guys hear me? I'm still here.
Oh, there you are.
Okay.
What
cool.
the hell happened?
I have no idea, but I'm
that
still
was
here.
So weird. All right, go ahead. What was your take on Errol the Truth Spence? Is he the truth?
Yes, I definitely do think he is the truth. I mean, besides what Andrew said, going over the pond to beat Kell Brook, taking the belt from him, not by some close decision or something. He actually stopped him. However the stoppage came, it was a stoppage nonetheless. And maybe that might have been the only way he could have done it. And do it that way over there, making sure that he gets the victory, not leaving it to the judge's decision. So that first and foremost really showed Spence, and I think that was his coming out party, of course, winning a title and in that fashion. And then also, beating Porter. I think Porter is a real difficult fighter to fight. Not that he's the most technical guy, but he's just so rough and rugged. And the fact that, he has been dropped by Broner, so it's not like it's impossible by any stretch. But the way Spence was able to take care of him and basically even drop him, he caught him down with that. I think it was a left hook, if I'm not mistaken, that dropped him late in the fight. That I think that totally legitimized him. And then, this fights with fucking these fights afterwards, or the kind of in between give me fights. I mean, whatever, they're just keep me busy fights, and even this Danny Garcia one. But I think from the time that he beat what's his name, Kell Brook, I thought, yeah, this guy's legit. But yeah, I mean, and until, I mean, let's just be real, until he fights fucking Crawford, and I know this is like, a broken record at this point. I think that's going to be a stain on his record and Crawford's for that matter. I know Crawford wants to fight, and it seems that to be more sounds or more noise coming out of Crawford's mouth wanting to fight Spence than it is the other way around. But I think that's still going to be up there. That's going to be that question, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be one of the fights that we never get in boxing. Or the sport itself is littered with these fights that never actually happen, or ultimately happen far too late. I hope this is not one of them. I'm not holding my breath at all by any way, but I don't know. I know that stain is going to be there. The fact that he didn't fight Crawford or hasn't yet, is he legitimate? I think so. Yeah, more so than Crawford, just because he's done more in the welterweight division. But specifically speaking, welterweights. But yeah, from the time that he beat Kel, I thought he was legit.
Andrew Labouche.
The stain will be bigger on Spence because Crawford came to his division. Crawford came to his division and beat the man who beat the man, and Spence didn't do a fucking thing about it but hide behind his manager's dress this whole time. So fuck that. Spence looks like the coward in this matchup between him and Crawford. Crawford even hit up Spence in the hall a few years ago. Remember with him and Bob Arum, that big YouTube video that went viral? Spence he never wanted it. He never wanted it. It's clear now with his comments that he made during this fight about if he doesn't get, 60-40, then he's moving up in weight and he's done with it. So it's man, Terrence Crawford was legit. He was a unified champ. He was a pound for pound fighter way before Spence was. He came to your division. You're supposed to handle that, man. And he never did. He didn't want that.
Okay. So as we do so often when we discuss these two individuals, Miguel Antonio Barragan, do you change your opinion of the outcome of this fight?
I agree with what he said. I agree with what he said, that it's going to be a stain on both, Lee, but I think, in my opinion, I think it's more going to be on Spence because for everything I said.
Well, I mean, it's obvious. You could hear it just with that last interview that he was talking about, right after his fight with Garcia, talking about going back to his ranch or playing with his horses or whatever the fuck he's talking about. It's like, dude, I get it. Like if he, I don't know, when I'm not sure how to explain it, but when you can hear it in the tone of his voice that he doesn't have that same will or the same hunger to want to fight somebody like Crawford, knowing that that's probably the last major hurdle in the welterweight division, the last major name. There's so much money that could potentially be involved in this, that the fact that he wants to be that stubborn about it and ask for the 60-40. Like I get his position because he is the unified champion. He's done more welterweight than Crawford. But it's like, at one point do we say, okay, we're gonna find out who's the best is here, and money will come secondary. Like, how much money has he already fucking made up until this point in his career? I'm sure he's made a substantial amount. Like, can we not compromise? Is it really ultimately that the bottom line? And that, I mean, it's just, we can talk about it until we're blue in the face, but it's getting tiring having to hear these like kind of half-assed comments from PBC and Spence talking about, oh well, maybe it's like, no, dude, we hear Crawford straight out of his fucking mouth saying like, yes, dude, let's get it down, and it hasn't happened yet. So, whatever.
When this first started, Lee, you asked us who we thought was going to win.
Yep.
Me and Miguel both had Spence winning. I told you let's let this fight get closer and things might change. That question that she asked Spence this first press conference, those are the pieces that I'm looking for to make a different fight prediction. What the fuck do you mean has your jaw been tested? This guy he's been a champion for how many years? He's fought in how many champions? What really happened? See, I'm not in the media room anymore, but if you guys can fish around, see what really happened to Spence's jaw in that car accident, because I just heard he lost some teeth. That's all I read. That's all I seen on my computer. But there might be a story out there where this dude had some major damage to his jaw, and fucking Manny Pacquiao is not the guy you want punching you in the jaw. Danny Garcia is great. He is not fucking Manny Pacquiao. All right? So if that's the test you think you need to pass to get in the ring with Manny, all right. We'll see how that's going to turn out. But those are the things I'm looking for when I'm going to make my final prediction. And to me, that was alarming. I don't know why they allowed her to say that. If I was Spence's team, I would have been like, "Fuck you, asking the champ if his jaw's been tested. How many fucking champions he's fought? This guy fought Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Cal Brook. What the fuck you mean is his tent? Nah, she's talking about that. Something happened in that car accident, man. Well, we'll see if Manny could touch that again.
Was that the host of the press conference?
Hold on, gentlemen. I have to break in. I have to break in. This just in, because I just found the news story. Eddie Hearn, Fury versus Wilder sold no tickets. It would have done poorly on pay-per-view. There's your update, everyone. Andrew was once again correct, without even looking at the news. All right, please continue about the Pacquiao-Spence press conference. We now return you to the Pacquiao-Spence debate.
Yeah. So I saw bits and pieces of it, and I saw it on like the Fox Deportes channels that I got on my Dish Latino network. So like it's like in Spanish, so there's a lot of translation. So I'm trying to hear what they're saying, and then I'm hearing the I guess the translator, right? Because whoever is narrating the damn thing is like translating. So I'm getting like a double feed on this shit, and I'm trying to listen to what they're saying. I got to the point where like who was it? Somebody asked Spence, I think it was the host, about receiving some sort of advice or something from fucking Floyd in regards to Manny or some shit like that. Did anybody catch that? I don't know if I missed it. What the hell was that about? Because like it seemed like Manny kind of responded in sort of almost like a way like, dude, you don't need his fucking advice. What the hell, kind of deal, you know? But like, what the hell was that about? I didn't catch that.
Manny actually threw a shot at Floyd right there,
right?
Trying to secure their rematch fight. She asked, "Has Floyd reached out to you and given you any pointers?" And Spence was like, "No, he hasn't called me." And she says, "Well, does he ever call you?" And then Manny jumped in and was like, "I don't think he needs any pointers from Mayweather because he's a better fighter than him." So everyone's like, "That's bullshit." But it is Manny just throwing a shot at Floyd there. But then he responded with, "Floyd has reached out with him in the past, but not for this fight right now." But he goes, if Floyd told you that he's going to reach out to me, then I'm pretty sure he's going to call.
I sure as hell hope he doesn't do it that same
Hold on, breaking news. Otto Wallen thinks it would be okay if he fought Andy Ruiz. We now return you. Oh, by the way, for those of you who don't know, that's the guy who I told him his exact future, and it's playing out. Yes. I now return you to the Spence Pacquiao press conference. Go ahead, Miguel.
I sure as hope Floyd doesn't fucking offer Spence any any advice on how to beat Manny, because we're gonna end up with the same as boring snoozer of a fight with Floyd. Well, I guess Spence in this case, like punch clinch. When he gets close to him, punch clinch. It's like, come on the fuck on. Now we came to see a scrap here, and Spence is that kind of fighter. So I hope he doesn't go that direction.
There you go.
That was all.
Did we cover it? Okay, last question. Just because I'm calling the show this title and I've already sent it out. Will Manny Pacquiao says he have the AIDS? If I've already tweeted it and I've actually sent it out, so I'm sure it's trending right now.
Did you say
the AIDS? The AIDS. That's something Pacquiao would say, something like, "I have the AIDS."
Not just regular AIDS, but
I cannot do the fight.
AIDS.
I have the AIDS. I got it from Freddie Roach. Okay. Do you think he's going to come up lame and blame something and not fight if they don't sell tickets? Andrew Labouche.
No, I think Manny's money's secured. He's probably got a guaranteed check from the PBC. I can't see Manny fighting for just percentage. So because they had to out negotiate Top Rank and Crawford, so he probably got a guaranteed money coming to him. It's going to be Spence whose ass is on the line most likely with the percentage. Of course, he'll get a guaranteed, but it won't be anywhere near Manny Pacquiao's guaranteed purse, and then Spence will get a percentage of the pay-per-views, whatever's sold. So no, I think Manny's in safe water here. It's a hard fight. But there's an avenue for Pacquiao, especially if we can find out what really happened to his jaw. Manny's a hard puncher still, even at 42. Miguel said it many times on this show. It's the last thing that leaves these legends is the pop. Right hook, left hand is all good on Manny still. He dropped Thurman 2 years ago. Kind of sad that we say it like that. That's when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
did you notice that Roach is back? He dropped Pooh Boy for this fight, so I think Manny's taking this one a little bit serious. He might want, this victory, you guys. It makes him what Bob Arum called him many years ago, and that was the Ali of this generation. This is the Ali George Foreman fight for Manny Pacquiao. He comes back and beats fucking Spence, dude. You know what? I'm telling you, Mayweather better get that rematch. He better get that rematch because Manny's going to trump you on. It's going to be one of those things like, yeah, they fought and Mayweather beat him that night, but overall legacy, 8 divisions, all the fucking champions he beat in their prime. The guy like the Morales, the Barrera, the Marquezes, the Cottos, he gave you the fights when you wanted them. Not when it was making the most money.
Yeah, the Hattons. Can't forget the Hattons.
Hatton fight, and he annihilated Hatton. So, yeah, this is a big moment for Pacquiao. I know Freddie Roach is a historian of the sport. He's talking this way to Manny as they're training. It's going to be a hell of a fight. Spence better be ready. And
especially if he wins like in a real like good manner, like not some like fucked up close decision, but if he comes in here and wins clear. Damn.
Foreman Ali. Then don't have him knock him out on his back. Hey, what was I gonna say? And Lee was politically correct a little earlier when he said that he looks like a guy who what did he say? Stole someone's money. Spence to me always looks like he's intoxicated, man. He talks like it,
right, or like he's high.
It's like his eyelids. He's got that like
is
David
everyone
Reed
staring
type of
at
lazy
me?
eyelids or some shit.
You gotta watch him do a press conference without the sound because I was editing the video. I'm like, damn, this dude looks shifty as fuck. I mean, he really comes off that way.
They have a meme where it goes. You ask your friends, hey, do I look high? And then it Spence's eyes all fucked up.
Accurate.
Yeah. Just imagine if Manny wins, comparing the last fights of him and Floyd's careers. I mean, forgetting McGregor for fuck's sake, but was it Andre Berto? Andre fucking Berto was Floyd's last fight. Can you imagine if this is Manny's last fight and he ends up winning? The number 1 dude in the division. Jesus Christ.
Yep. No, I know, dude. It goes to a Mayweather fight, or it goes to a mega top rank return. Whatever one Manny chooses on, and I think he would take Mayweather because Mayweather's been out of the ring a long time, man. Manny would be hot as shit. Vegas would be on Manny's side. What do you guys think's hotter? The Mayweather coming back and winning a 12-round boring ass decision, or Manny winning a controversial decision and we're doing a third one?
Right, the tiebreaker.
Right. Yeah, so Floyd he better be nervous about Vegas stabbing him in the back finally. It took him fucking 50 years. Floyd will probably be 50 when they do it, but that's what Vegas usually does. You know what I mean? That's how they keep their ball rolling. So Manny would probably most likely be the favorite going into a Floyd rematch if he was to beat Spence. Yes, sir.
Well, we have a couple of fighter updates. Going to this fight. The WBA rejects Manny Pacquiao's request, aka the PBC, for title reinstatement. They're going to keep the title on Ugas. So, does it make the fight more important? Again, I start with you this time, Andrew. Would it be better if he was the WBA super champ when he fought?
It doesn't matter. He's the people's champ. Spence is going to get a belt beating him anyways. So the regular super title and none of that shit matters. You're fighting Pacquiao. There's a lot on the line here as far, with Spence anyways.
Miguel?
No, I mean it looks pretty up on there on the stage with all the other belts. I mean, I'm sure all the casual fans are like, ooh, over all these shiny ass belts, right? That's all that really matters to them because they don't really know much. But I don't think it's gonna really make that much of a difference. I mean, he took the belt from was it for Thurman, right? And then actually hasn't lost it to my knowledge, right? I don't know how the WBA tries to kind of intertwine things, but I don't really even legitimately look at Ugas as a champ anyway. I mean, whatever. I guess he's been more active, I suppose. I'm not sure than Manny, but no, I don't think it really even matters, to be honest. I mean, it's. I'm looking at the 2 belts that Spence has as being up for grabs. The one that Manny has, or sort of kind of has, that's not legitimate.
And as far as
Yeah.
Lee, when
Go
you
ahead.
talk about you always like to say the man who beat the man.
Yep.
The man who beat Pacquiao was Jeff Horn, right? It was an ugly fight. It's a disgusting fight. Many don't like to watch it, but it happened. Jeff Horn beats him by decision, and Crawford then goes to the welterweight division and knocks Jeff Horn out in, I believe, 7 or 8 rounds. He's the man at that point, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
exactly.
yeah, so Spence doesn't really even have that going. It's a fucking shame that the Ring magazine caved in on this and was like, all right, because they're not fighting, I guess the winner of this fight will beat. How could they do that to Crawford when there's a domino effect that was laid out here and Spence isn't in it? He's coming in. He's fighting the guy that's two losses back on being the man. There's been a few other guys been the welterweight champ before we can now call Spence. Oh, Spence is the king of the welterweights because he beat Pacquiao. What? Pacquiao lost a few years ago, and then that guy lost. So, it's kind of bullshit. I don't like how the Ring magazine is making a champion out of this fight. If anything, you would put the pressure on Spence and go, no, dude, the real fight is Terrence Crawford. When you want to step up and fight him, then we'll give you this nice shiny belt. But no, they're going to give it to him for fighting Manny Pacquiao is a legend. Don't get it fucking twisted, but
Bam, 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 bam. Sorry.
The best fight in the welterweight division is Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence.
There you go. Breaking news. Oscar De La Hoya, over the past week, appeared on the Mike Tyson podcast, Hot Boxing, where apparently he got high once again and was quoted as saying, hey, I want to do these fights, and then guess what? I'm going to do a real fight, okay, like a 12-round fight with like Floyd or Canelo. I always wanted to do a third fight for my comeback. I'm either going to call out Floyd or Canelo. All right, let's just stop right there with his crazy fucking rants and get to it. Is there any way in hell that either of these fighters are actually going to fight De La Hoya, who's now posting pictures of himself, trying to prove that he's back in shape, and apparently getting high with Mike Tyson? I start with you, Andrew Labouche. Are we seeing the second go-round of Oscar De La Hoya?
No, and I think this would be about the third or fourth go-around for Oscar De La Hoya.
You mean the drop weight? Well, I don't count the drop weight and get paid series.
No, the retirements and then coming back and all this, De La Hoya, his best chance is Mayweather. He's not going to get the Canelo fight. I don't think Canelo would ever fight Oscar. It does nothing for his career. Oscar would have to have like 3 wins. He would have to pull off a Pacquiao, right? A Thurman. Would it Pacquiao, Broner, Thurman, and Spence? Bang, then you get Mayweather come back. That's that's what I'm saying here. If it plays out like that, that's probably how he gets Mayweather out of the retirement. Oscar has to do something bullshit like that. He would have to fight 3 fucking names, make himself legit again, and then maybe Canelo would do it. Because it's a great money fight. If Oscar can trick the fans once again and make it seem like he's bad.
All right, Miguel Antonio Barragan, do we get a 3-fight deal out of the Golden Boy, who's now not even the Golden Boy or the Golden Man? He's the Golden Senior Citizen who's first at Denny's at 4 o'clock.
We'll call him the Bronze Senior Citizen at Denny's at 4 o'clock. But I mean, no, I don't think. Oh, am I back? Sorry.
Yeah, there you are. That
okay,
is
cool.
so weird.
I think I think something wrong with the cord. Okay. So yeah. I mean, I don't think he gets any one of those because I mean, just using the example that Andrew gave with the fights in that he has to kind of string off back to back to back. I mean, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that at all. I mean, is he going to try? Probably. Whether or not he's actually going to get the fights, who the fuck knows? But I mean, at this point, it just seems like Floyd is just, or I'm sorry, not Floyd. De La Hoya is obsessed with Floyd. Like he's, everything from like wanting to get this fucking rematch with him, or even having the fight with Canelo, and trying to get Zurdo Ramirez to get to the 52-0 thing. He's just like so fucking obsessed with Floyd. It's like, dude, let it go already, man. Like I get it. You're trying to save your promotional, company. No one else is doing it for you. You got to do it your goddamn self. But it's like, man, he's really really grasping at straws here. He's not going to be able to do anything close to what Andrew was mentioning, let alone get himself a rematch with Floyd or a big mega fight with Canelo. It's not going to happen.
And especially if Manny is successful in Spence. I truly do think Lee's prediction of been calling it for years, the rematch between Manny and Floyd will take place. Because I mean that is a huge fight if Manny pulls this off. They're talk about the whole world tuning in again. And I'm dead serious on this. The whole boxing world would be in. It would be a huge fight, and then whatever casuals come back just because the diehards are going to be like, nope, Manny fucking did it. He's back. He's back.
He just has to be good in the fight, I think. I think he just has to keep it close. I don't think he has to win. I think if
he
he
just
gets
needs to be active. That's all. He just wasn't active in that first fight, you know?
Yeah.
No, he's saying against Spence, though.
Against
He's saying
Spence.
Gotcha.
I think he just has to be close against Spence. And I don't think he can beat – I still don't think he can beat Mayweather.
Lee, the only reason why I say it now would be the best time is Mayweather's been out of the ring for about 5 years. Manny hasn't. You know, Manny's been active. So his punches, his combinations, his speed, everything would still be there. You know, Floyd's been doing these exhibition fights. He hasn't been really training hard. That it's all about timing when I'm talking about Manny might possibly being the favorite walking into this fight. And with a victory over Spence. That's how he becomes a favorite in the rematch. It's all about timing. These two guys in their prime. I said it. I'm on paper or wax, whatever. However, I'm in the computer online saying it many times. Floyd beats fucking Manny 9 out of 10 times in their prime. I always thought that. I bet Floyd to knock out Manny Pacquiao when they fought because I just didn't think he was ever going to stop Floyd's right hand. He couldn't stop anybody's right hand. Marquez hit him with every right hand. I thought Floyd was going to abuse him that night with the right hand, and he didn't. But that's how much confidence I had in Floyd is that I took the TKO, the knockout in that fight. So with that being said, it's all about timing. Manny would just be in the perfect moment to fight Floyd again. And because if I was Manny, I give Floyd no fucking warm up because he's the one running the shots. He could jump over there, Terrence Crawford, make, if not the same, more money with Top Rank because they would be drooling at this point over this fight. And so Floyd would really be answering to Manny at that point.
All right. Last question on the topic with Oscar de la Hoya. I just like that I can say it correctly. I start with you, Miguel. Will Oscar de la Hoya have the AIDS if they only sell 5 tickets?
That I'm gonna have to think about that one. Let me see.
What's Triller gonna do if they can't sell tickets to this? How do you bail out of this?
Oh, yeah, you're gonna have to write it off. I'm gonna have to say yes. When they come to the conclusion that no one knows who the fuck Vitor Belfort is, and they're like, he's fighting who? This guy? Yeah, I'm sure tickets are gonna be like sold. They're gonna be on Groupon. Which, by the way, I actually bought tickets to Timothy Bradley and Brandon Rios some years back on Groupon. By the way, so yeah. Groupon is a great deal. If those tickets are gonna go on fucking Groupon and they're not gonna sell even then, I would not be surprised if De La Hoya announces he has the AIDS and postpones the fight.
Andrew, do you think that he gets the AIDS and gets out of the fight?
Well, yes. It matters with location. Listen, they try to do this fight big in Vegas.
They're talking about Vegas.
Yeah, if they try to do Vegas, this fight, he's definitely going to contract the AIDS at some point in the training, and that'll be it for Oscar. But if they do it in LA, I think there's a chance Oscar can still make some noise in his city, and the fans would respond and they would come. If I was Oscar, I'd look at something big in LA, making an LA event, invite the Dodgers. Do something. Have all the LA fighters show up. Do something, and I think they can make it big.
Fight in an alley, and then the money is on Vitor Belfort.
He's gonna have the fight at Fantasy Springs like he likes to do. Golden Boy fights over there.
At the El Rey in downtown, the little movie theater where he puts on his little
oh yeah
card. All right, so let's talk about someone who did get the AIDS this past week. That would be Adrian the Problem Stabone DeBroner. Did everybody see the Broner's problem with the problem? Did anybody catch this story besides me? I loved it. So
I
apparently,
yeah, he was depressed. That's all I seen.
Oh, no. It gets better. He went on a full Lehanish style drunken tear to the point where he had to go to the rehab with his AIDS and was then basically in bed with the sheiks trying to work it out and then begging once again on Twitter, not this time for money, not this time to sell his jewelry. I need your prayers, people. I need you behind me through this difficult struggle as I try to get through this depression and getting over my alcoholism. And he was spending a month in bed. Now, I'm quite familiar with the symptoms of alcohol and or getting off the symptoms of alcohol. The only time you're on bed rest is when you're in a goddamn rehab and they're keeping you in a goddamn bed because you're going to shake your ass off. Is anyone surprised that the problem had a problem, became a real problem, and then somebody finally had enough of the problem and then basically strapped his ass to a bed? I start with you, Miguel.
I did see the quote unquote supposed leaked photo of him sitting on a fucking toilet. You guys seen that one? He's like, that's the only one that I've seen his issues. I mean, to my knowledge, that's all I know. I know he's going through some issues, a mental issue, but I don't know to what extent exactly, because I mean, to some degree, I don't know what the hell's legit with him anymore. Like, it's like, is this real or is this not real? Is he just trying to pull the sympathy card again, or what the fuck? But I mean, that's the first thing I saw, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! Now this is at this point, when I did see that picture, I thought, oh shit, okay, he's in some serious shit, as if he wasn't before. But I mean, when I see something like that, I'm like, okay, clearly this guy's in some serious trouble, and he's gonna need more than just prayers to get out of this one. But yeah, I did catch that.
And what's sad is he has an out. If someone close to him had a fucking clue, they would talk to this young man, because to me he's still a young man, about his one last fight on pay-per-view with Gervonta Davis. He has one pay-per-view left, you guys. I'm dead serious. That fight with Davis would do 1 million buys in the PBC fan base. They love both of those guys. Adrian Broner is the most watched fighter on the PBC stable. His views are more than anyone. I think Deontay's second. So he has one more fight in him. He just needs to pull his shit together. You might make 5 or 8 million as you walk out the fucking door. Like, chill. Get everything tight, come back, get a warm-up fight with the PBC on one of their bullshit fighters that they'll put you on in front of Fox. You'll get a win, and then you set up the Floyd Broner argument in the ring, right? Get that thing going again. And then Gervonta Davis steps in front of Floyd. They make that fight. I don't know why Broner. That's the first thing I thought of, is how much money he was losing by posting this video. Looking weak, looking like he's broken. I hope he's not, but seriously, tighten it up, because you got one more check in you, and then you need to make that money right. Stop buying fucking jewelry, because look at his problems, you guys, are way more than just alcoholism. The guy overspends. He has assault cases. He has fucking lawsuits out. Like, Adrian Broner's personal life is just a mess, and he puts it all on social media. That's why I can talk about it. He's the one that does it. Right? When he got shot at, he put it on social media. Hey, look at my SUV, he got shot at. That's nothing to brag about. That means someone doesn't even like you in your own city. But he does, that's just the way Adrian is. But yeah, he has one more fight. It could make him a lot of money, and then he can, as long as he's responsible. Stop trying to act like Floyd. Like, dude, you guys remember the last him versus Pacquiao? Mm-hmm. He had a Bentley and a chauffeur. It was like, why the fuck? Why do you have a driver? Who are you to say I need someone driving my own personal driver? It's stupid living. Trying to live like that is why he's in the position that he's in right now this week. It has way more to do with that lifestyle he's trying to live than it really does with alcoholism, in my opinion. It's stress, it's alcohol, it's fucking everything's coming to an end. If I'm Adrian, cut off all the fucking beard, give yourself a haircut, do what they do in the military. Clean it, man. Clean it all up, build yourself back, go after Gervonta Davis. That would be my motivation for Adrian Broner to get his ass out of that bed, would be one more pay-per-view fight, Gervonta Davis.
But you see, I don't think he can even do that, dude. Like, I don't even think like he does this "I'm back" bullshit every single time he's got himself a fight. But it's like, no, he's not. Like, you can only believe that shit so many times. Like, you would think, like, okay, dude, you got one more paycheck in you. You know, you got one more last great pay-per-view in you, and a potential, big fight with fucking Gervonta, maybe a tune-up fight. In the meantime, I don't even have enough confidence in him to say that he'll even make it to that fight. Like, not even that. That's his problem. I mean, well, one of the many problems, I'm sure, but it's just that discipline, that maturity is just, it's never there. It's never been there. I mean, like, just his weight problems when he was back at 130 back in the day and stuff like that. It's just like, damn, even from back then, I don't know what the hell his, no pun intended, what his problem is, but it's just like, god damn, if it's not one thing, it's another. You would think, like, dude, like you said, tighten it up. You have one last little home stretch here before you get yourself a nice little paycheck, and you can, run off into the sunset. But I don't even think that's even in him. I don't even think he's even capable of doing that.
And he might not be, and he hasn't had a big win in a long time. But for some reason, them PBC fan base, they will watch this man. They come back to the television for him. So that's the only really thing I have for Adrian.
I believe it's this, Andrew. By the way, I think that's the same fan base that believes Deontay Wilder is going to win in the trilogy of fights. It's all the same fan base.
Yes, PBC. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you how disliked those people are. So you belong to Behind the Gloves group on Facebook, Andrew, right?
Yes.
There's a dude in there that's like a total PBC homer and a total Deontay Wilder, Adrian Broner guy who posts like every 4.5 minutes. A guy actually posted yesterday how to block this guy so he doesn't show up in your feed. And I nearly shit myself. I laughed so hard. I went, and there you go. That's how you shut. The other day I saw a like by Cali King, and I was wondering, is he suicidal because Deontay Wilder is, a bucket of shit?
No.
Or do they just keep buying into the hype that, they'll be back. Broner will be back. Deontay Wilder will be back. Back where? They'll show you they're back, hitting the mat. I mean, but please, you've got to be joking me. Nothing this past week in boxing story-wise, because I get feeds on my phone. The Broner thing was like candy to me. Like, which takes us to our newest game show. What will Adrian Broner do next? So he's broken the law. He's assaulted people. He's now claiming the AIDS. And he's stuck in bed.
Is that what he keeps saying that? Did he say something?
No, they're saying like the inside stuff is alcoholism and depression, which kind of go hand in hand. I have depression issues, so I totally get it. I'm not going to shit on anybody if he's got real depression issues. I think he's depressed because he's broke and nobody wants to fight him. Okay? That's what I think your depression's based on, buddy. I don't think it's based on actual clinical diagnosis. I think he stood in the mirror and went, I'm depressed, and then tweeted it, and everybody went, oh, he's depressed. We should feel bad for him. Fuck him. He's had more money than God, all right, for a guy with average talent, if you really want me to get off on a rant. Fuck him and the bus that eventually hits him as he's a drunk homeless person getting thrown out after the COVID eviction moratorium ends, because that motherfucker probably hasn't been paying his rent either. Yeah, I said it. Bam, 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 bam. Fuck him. I'm over Broner. He's literally the lightweight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He really is. Like, he's just that kind of fuck up.
Yeah.
How'd I do? Was that a strong enough take for everybody? I was told recently I'm not doing enough of my drop a take. There's a take. Fuck Broner. Fuck the horse he rode in on. And you know what? I'm happy with the bus driver that hits him when he's a homeless guy making the crazy noises. As he's in, he'll be one of those homeless guys, right, with the bags of shit in a wheelchair, using his feet to walk himself across the road with that big gangly-ass beard of his as he stares into the bright headlights that take his ass out. Fuck him. He's a blight and a pimple and a zit and a wart all at once on the ass of boxing, just like the other cheek where Chavez Jr. is. Yeah, said it. I'm kind of happy about it, too. I've been off the air for a week and a half. A little strong, Andrew? Or do you think the fans will dig that one?
You're doing fine. Yes, sir. They know.
I'm feeling good. I got to Vegas, got my feet up in the cabana, and posted photos, by the way. If you're listening to this, go to FightNet. Here's a shameless plug. Go visit us at fight.net.radio on Facebook. Of course, fightnetradio.media. And always follow at FightFiendMigs and follow me at Lee Honish. And you can see pictures of me in the cabana trying out the new lapel mic from my poolside cabana. Nobody's out here. It's creepy. It's like a tornado's coming, and I'm the only one who doesn't know about it. When I asked for the cabana, they're like, sure. You sure you want to do that? Yeah, sure. Fuck it. I just got here. Whatever. So moving on. This weekend, a Charlo, who seems to have a whole lot of belts, is fighting. Does anybody actually care about that fight besides Miguel? So I'll start with you, Andrew, since you're the only one on the team besides me that doesn't give a fuck about the Charlo brothers. Do you give a fuck about this particular Charlo brother, which I'm not even sure if it's Jermel or Jermal?
No, this is Jermel, I believe, fighting Castellano.
Yeah.
Castano.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Solid.
I see, we knew he was going to take this fight. This was the young man. Who did he upset? Who did Castellano?
The Teixeira, that Brazilian dude.
Yes. Yeah, there was a little give. It's a give me belt.
Because it was,
Teixeira, yeah, Teixeira was going to go fight Zoo over in Australia if he won that fight. And so when Castellano won, he's a PBC guy. He kind of knew right away Charlo was going to gobble this up. Nothing big here. This does nothing for. This isn't a test. This isn't a legacy issue. This is just staying busy, or I don't know what these PBC guys are doing. I really don't. I've lost it. Lost their drive. I really think their drive is just to cash the check, and which is fine. I'm not knocking that. Everybody makes their money. They just really fucked it up for us.
Just not Fury and Wilder. Everybody else makes a check, just not Wilder and Fury.
Hey, that COVID is deadly.
The AIDS is a real thing, Andrew. So the question that all the Fight Net Radio universe is asking themselves right now, Andrew, are you even going to watch this fight on Saturday?
I will probably, if there's nothing else going on, I'm on call. I'm on call, so I have to stay home. So I will probably tune in to this. But yeah, if I forget about it, don't be surprised.
I wouldn't blame you if you fell asleep. I probably would. Now let's turn to the guy who actually cares way more about the PBC than both Andrew and I combined. Miguel, are you excited about this at all?
Excited? Not really. No, I mean, we know. This is basically a foregone conclusion already. We know this is just one of those belts. It's a way for him to clean up the division. There's another word I'm looking for. It starts with the letter M, but I can't seem to remember what the fuck it's called now. But
Muddy?
It's just. Huh? No. It's like a foregone conclusion. Basically, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. We know that it's just a no. What is it? It's a formality. I think is what I'm looking for.
Formality.
At this point,
that's not an M. I'm quite positive
I was
formality and M don't.
There's
an
an
M in it, but not.
There you go. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah,
But at this point, that's what it is. So I mean, we can call it a keep me busy fight, but we know at this point it's one of those, I guess Canelo fighting fucking Perro Aguayo back in the fucking days. So it's just, or Angulo, I'm sorry. So it's just one of those things, like one of the last guys in the division that he has to clean out the division, and he's going to get that last belt basically at this point. So it's really just a formality. I'm not too excited about that. However, having all belts on one guy and actually having one dude be the legitimate 154-pound champ, that's a step closer that we all want to be, right? In the sport of boxing, we all want to have one champ, although we already know who the fuck he is. But again, just a formality, getting that last strap. So yeah, I'll watch it for the sake of watching it, but not too excited, no.
Well, there you go. Quick question before we get to our last and biggest story, because it's entertaining. Here's the question I pose. I pose it to you, Miguel, because I don't think Andrew's allowed to answer the question. Why is it that the fattest people at the pool are wearing the smallest bikinis, and the thin, hot ones are all wearing one pieces that cover up way too much, and I'm getting no underboob whatsoever?
Because they're empowered, Lee. All bodies are
Who
beautiful.
did this?
They're
Is this
empowered.
because we put fat people on the cover of Sports Illustrated?
Of Cosmopolitan. That's exactly what it is. It's the double standard. We see a fat dude wearing the same shit, and it's like, dude, go fucking cover up, you slob. We see a fat chick doing it, and it's like, hey, she's empowered. Yay. Whatever.
I don't want to break it to anybody, I was fat. You can ask Andrew. I was at his wedding. And there is a wedding photo floating around to that.
I want to see it.
Here's literally the truth. I had to drop 30 pounds, work out, get back in shape, and I did my first shirtless thing since my cage fight when I was on my last tour. And that's because I lost 30 pounds and I was in fucking ripped ass, buffed ass shape. When I was fat, I didn't take my shirt off. What? You don't want to scare the children? Like, show the man boobies off and the belly and the gut. Like, have some fucking dignity, people.
Mhm.
Like, these girls are wearing legit stripper bathing suits at the pool, and it's like dental floss stuck between their ass cheeks. I'm staring at it right now. I'm like, and they're dancing around and they're happy and they're drinking like it's no big deal. And truthfully, I'm going to say what it is. Gentlemen, I'm going to explain this to you and why it occurs. It just dawned on me. Because guys will fuck anything. I said it. That's why I left you out, Andrew. That was important. All right, last story of the day. I'm sure Andrew watched it. I know Miguel and I watched it. Conor McGregor. Why would we be talking about him? He did have a boxing match, and Mayweather did bet $50,000 on Dustin. And truthfully, that's as close to boxing as you can get if we're still talking about Chavez Jr., who's taking exhibition fights and losing those. So let's talk about this. Conor McGregor. I start with you, Miguel. He's fucking broken. He's done. He's a bad representative of the sport. He's gone from nice McGregor now back to the shitty McGregor, back to insulting people's wives McGregor, back to Dustin Porter wants to really break his fucking face if this turns into a fourth fight, Conor McGregor. What did you see with the leg snapping situation? And if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's also making memes around there with the Joe Rogan interviewing him as he's sitting on his ass, which are even funnier than everything else. So I'll ask you, Miguel, what did you see?
Well, just to throw in another meme in there, somebody like photoshopped that. What is it? That fucking, I don't know, action figure, I guess, that Jake Paul got around his neck, right?
Yes.
But with the leg broken.
Sleepy,
it was pretty fucking
now
funny.
with the broken leg. Yeah, that's
with the broken
a good
leg.
one.
So that was good. But I mean, it wasn't. I think we could just say now that McGregor, as far as like being one of the elite guys, is done. Like he's done. In addition to this injury, which is a pretty serious fucking injury, it's gonna be a while before he's back. That fight was not going his way. Those early rounds are usually McGregor's rounds, and he was getting fucking schooled. Yes, it was barely the first round, and yes, we're talking about a 5-round fight, so maybe it would have changed, later on. Who knows? But based off of McGregor's history, the first 2 rounds are basically his best fucking rounds, and he was getting taken to the fucking to the cleaners with this with Poirier. So it wasn't going his way anyway. On top of that, this kick that supposedly Poirier says he checked, which I don't see him checking. It just happened to hit him in the knee, really. But he wasn't trying to check it. He was just trying to kind of limp leg it so it doesn't, hit as hard. And he says that cracked his whatever that bone happens to be there, that shin. And then when McGregor leaned on or stepped on it, is when it actually snapped. I don't know how much of that I believe. Even I want to say someone in McGregor's team talking about how he was having some ankle issues during the fight training camp and whatnot. So
just like Manny Pacquiao's mystery shoulder, it always works better that way.
Go into the ocean or whatever the hell Manny does,
right? And God and the ocean cured.
Exactly. That's gonna cure him. He's gonna have to put his foot in the ocean. But
and also, breaking news: Evander Holyfield's heart, which was diagnosed, was cured by God and the ocean as well. So, McGregor, if you're listening, or someone who knows him, ocean, God. Try
exactly. It. Right. So yeah, I think his time at the top. I mean, he's still gonna have people following him because he is still the train wreck that Broner is. So people still tune in to watch, of course. But as far as him being at the top, that's pretty much done at this point. Him still being a fucking douchebag, that's not done. That him being a dirtbag like that is just like to some extent. It's I'm gonna blame it on Connor. Connor shouldn't have said the shit that he needed to say, but we know it's Connor, and it wasn't like we're necessarily surprised. But on to what you were saying earlier with like the meme with Joe Rogan in it, Joe Rogan put him in that spot. Like you don't really have to fucking hear from him when the guy has a broken goddamn leg, lying is still in the octagon. It's like, dude, send his ass to the hospital. We'll get an interview later when he's kind of calmed down. His adrenaline is pumping. His fucking body's reacting to his broken leg. He's probably pissed off as hell because the fight ended the way it did. The worst time to fucking interview him, and Joe Rogan goes in there and interviews him. It's like, come on, what do we expect? We know he's going to get some
Joe
shit
Rogan
out
was
of his
convinced
mouth.
he could kick his ass if he said anything wrong.
Yeah,
At this
right.
point,
At that
I think
point,
it's pretty safe to say Joe can take him.
yeah, he could, or at least run from him because he wouldn't be able to chase him. So,
Absolutely.
so yeah, I mean, the stuff that he said unnecessary. This isn't justifying anything that Connor said, but it was the worst possible time to get a word from him. I mean, come the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine someone throwing a goddamn microphone in your face when your leg is busted up and shit like that, and you just lost the fight. So I don't know. It's just I'm done with Connor. I know like it's always exciting when there's a big fight, that big fight feel, and Connor always had that big fight feel, especially when it made it to the top. But that's done. I'm like really over it at this point. It's just whatever bad crap comes out of his mouth just for the sake of getting more attention. It's like I'm over this shit. So at his time at the top as an elite mixed martial artist, probably been done for some time now. But officially, it happened last weekend.
Andrew Labouche, did you watch the 1-round chicken leg snapping?
Yeah, it was bullshit, man. It's fucked up what they're doing. Listen to me, man. You can't fucking call that guy the winner. He fucking takes a step backwards, the shit snaps, fight's over. That's a no contest, you guys. That's an absolute no contest. You bring back the fight after he's healed up, and we do it again. I didn't see the kick. The phantom crack, and then he stepped and it breaks. Shut the fuck up. The dude stepped back and he twisted his ankle. We see it in basketball all the time. You see it in other sports. He stepped awkwardly. His shit broke. It rolls and it breaks. This is a no-brainer. How the UFC got away with calling this guy the champ or the winner it's just a joke. And let me tell you, these fucking UFC fans, they follow these guys after every loss. Conor McGregor's fine. He's going to come back. He's still going to make money. If I was McGregor, I fight Jake Paul. If I'm McGregor, I sue the fuck out of the UFC to get out of that. Do whatever you have to do to get out of this contract. Don't go back to the cage, and you fight that guy Paul. Did you guys see what Paul did?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so he said he sends the necklace, that $100,000 necklace.
Yeah.
He sent it to the winner. What's the man's name? Poirier.
Dustin Poirier.
Dustin Poirier. Yeah.
Poirier. He sent it to him. So that's $100,000 bonus for that young man. Props to him. But yeah,
well, I think he's going to auction it off for like his charity because he has a charity. So I don't think it's going to actually go to him. But nonetheless, yeah.
That's stupid. He should keep all of that shit. Hopefully the charity's under his name, so he's still keeping it. 10% to the kids, 90 to me. You know how it goes. Take them to the championship.
Let's get a couple. Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah. So no, I didn't understand it, you guys. In boxing, that's a no contest, man. You don't get past 4 rounds. It's a no contest. No, there should have. What happened to the scorecards? That's the first thing I said. I was like, why didn't they go to the scorecards? Then I heard it was in the first round. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? The first round? How is that guy declared the winner? That was absurd. I don't get that. But, the UFC is its own monster. They do what they want.
Well, Andrew, you needed to watch this because you missed out on a couple of amazing things. Miguel and I watched it, and I watched in fucking amusement. First was Max Kellerman, and the second was Teddy Atlas doing color commentary after the fight, which made no goddamn sense whatsoever. The two boxing guys were commenting.
That's what it needs to make for them to get MMA commentators. It needs to make sense. It needs to make money, Lee. And if it don't make money, then you're going to get the commentators from the guys that are doing something, and they're going to step in and they're going to fill in for those spots of the UFC. That's all that happened there. I seen you guys talking about it. That's all. The ESPN does that all the time. Some of their commentators will get it, like the basketball season will be over. They'll let them transition, throw them into some football stuff. You know what I mean? They do that all the time. That's all that was happening there. Dana White, if he was smart, he would probably tell ESPN, don't ever do that again. I want commentators from the UFC to do all of my shows, and let's see what ESPN tells them if they want to actually write that check or not. But I believe that was just a case of these guys are under contract, you guys aren't, and we're going to use the guys we already have.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it was. Because I know that I want to say in the past, Dana White has tried pulling that shit off where he's trying to get only, and to some extent, he's actually succeeded. Because I think with Fox, they had some issue with Joe Rogan showing too much emotion, and they were trying to get Joe Rogan to kind of, take it down a couple of notches. And Rogan's like, no, fool, that's how it is. This is how I am. So it didn't exactly work out to Fox's benefit there. Basically, Rogan started doing only pay-per-views and no longer Fox shows when they had the Fox deal several years ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if something similar was going on with ESPN, and ESPN is basically running the show. They had Stephen A. Smith there as well. So yeah, at that point, on top of fucking Teddy Atlas, and to Max Kellerman's credit, I give Max a lot of credit because he does know substantially more about the sport than Atlas and fucking Stephen A. combined. If even from back in the fucking day, he's always defended MMA, and I appreciate that from Max. So seeing Max there, on top of the fact that Max covers a lot of other sports as well, he's not just strictly a boxing guy. But hearing Teddy Atlas, it's like, damn it, man, I can you can hear how much of a fish out of water he really was with the sport as a whole. His critique of the striking, his interest, I guess, his not critique, I guess, but his opinions on that is always spot on. But anything else beyond that, it's like, damn, dude, you really don't know what the fuck's going on. But he tried, whatever, ESPN tossed him in there and he gave it a shot.
You mean when Teddy Atlas wanted to take it to the floor? That's what he wanted to do.
To the floor.
Take it to the floor.
The flow, because you got that New York accent, the flow.
What the fuck?
Stephen A. Smith barely had a boxing credential, and then he put out the video of him doing the pads, and he lost those fucking credentials too. So him and the MMA is for sure not a good thing. The guy he doesn't even know how to throw a punch. Fuck that. I'm not even going to say what he did on that video was him throwing punches. I don't know what that video was.
And that was right after him talking shit about Donald Cerrone quitting in a fight or some shit. And then you see him throwing these like whack-ass stiff, whatever the hell it was, like knee punches or whatever the hell it was. It was whack as shit. But once I saw Stephen A., I'm like, God damn it, ESPN, why'd you do this to me?
Hey,
go ahead.
Did you guys see the meme I just sent you?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. You see him talking to that one dude while he's still knocked out on his back? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that dude, he wasn't knocked out. He won. He actually broke it. He fucked up his foot. He won. Yeah. But, it was like the end of the fight or something like that. And he actually ended up winning. And they were interviewing him basically because he was the winner. He messed up his foot in the victory. That's a different story. But the other two, they were total losses. Well, I mean, I guess this weird McGregor leg break. But the other one was Daniel Cormier, who did get his ass handed to him in that fight. So bad idea.
Which takes us to the coolest thing I've ever seen after a fight, ever, and leave it to MMA for me to have the best moment ever after a fight. And I guarantee you didn't see this, Andrew. So the fans are booing Poirier after the fight. First words out of the man's mouth, because he's trying to be cool, trying to be respectful, and he's even trying to be somewhat respectful of Conor, who's still jabbering and about to get into it with Poirier's wife, which makes him a bigger dirtbag piece of shit. By the way, he's winding up becoming the pimple on my nutsack of combat sports.
Hey, you guys, real fast, Lee, I'll let you get back to it. His life totally changed when that rape charge came out. I think that was the end of Conor McGregor. I don't know if he did it or if he didn't do it, what happened that night in that hotel, but Conor's never been the same since getting arrested for that.
Nah, I wouldn't disagree with it, but his behavior is awful. Their fans that follow him make me hate white people the much more. And here's why. Because I watched...
Story, though. Finish your story.
Okay,
I gotta hear what happened.
Because this really happened after the fight. Right after the fight, the whiteys in the crowd. And by the way, I was watching the fight with, if those of you actually heard the episode, Killian of Just Frank and Killian, my buddy Derek Killian Kelly, was watching the fight with me. Mr. Irish, he's betting on Conor in front of me. He's like, yeah, I'll bet you $100. I'm like, okay, that's easy money. Sure. I said, do you want to bet the overs and unders? To which he goes, sure. he's going to win by knockout in under 2 rounds. The whole goddamn thing was a push because he took the unders of 2.5 rounds. I was a little disappointed. But he sat there and he was like, Conor will be back. Conor will be back. Like, he was like part of the crowd. And I'm watching this in front of my awesome high-def TV. And I'm thinking, well, should I throw him out of the room or do I watch this out? And it was Dustin Poirier who took care of it for me and all the people who were there as well. Here's what occurred. Dustin gets up. The very first words that Dustin Poirier says to the entire crowd is so awesome and so simple. He says to the crowd, excuse me, I'm recording a show. I'll leave in just a minute.
You're recording a show for who?
A podcast.
Podcast?
Yeah. I asked over at the bar before I started. Is there a problem?
Well,
Oh, the pool's closing?
the pool is-
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were just throwing me out because I was sitting here.
No,
Oh.
I was letting you know.
Dick.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry. I was getting all defensive. Ah!
No, you're good. You're good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you just got on the show for a whole weird moment of being a good guy. I appreciate you doing your job.
Oh, I hope they throw him out. That's gonna be
They're gonna-
awesome.
Yeah, even if the pool is not closing.
Thank you. I'll be out of here in just a minute. Oh my God. Hope you all enjoyed the moment.
You gotta
of me
scream
freaking out.
freedom, leave the security guards go.
I literally bribed everybody. Like, I'm dropping 20s to get this cabana, right, for like an hour and a half. Jesus. You know, should I have dropped the guy a finner or something so he goes on his way? I don't. By the way, put that in the comment section. All right, so here's what happens. Dustin Poirier takes care of it, and Miguel and I talked about this. Listen, all you Conor McGregor fans that are booing me, you can all kiss all of my asshole. And I went, fucking brilliant. That's exactly what you say when you get booed in that situation. You can not kiss my ass, kiss my asshole, all of it.
My whole asshole.
My whole asshole. What? I had to rewind it. It was so good. And while Killian was standing next to me, he's like, are you going to watch this a few more times? Just like I watched Conor snapping his leg, buddy. I'm going to keep rewinding it until I stop laughing. And I kept rewinding it, and I kept watching it, and I kept laughing. And he goes, and he finally got up and he left the room and walked into my kitchen. And he goes, are you done yet? I said, I can rewind it to Conor snapping his leg again in slow motion if you'd like. But man, the whole kiss all of my whole asshole. Wow. And here's what's great about UFC pay-per-view. They let that shit fly. This isn't ESPN or ESPN Plus where they bleep shit out. They let that go. And I loved it. It is exactly what you... And by the way, the crowd actually cheered him after he did it.
Yeah, everybody else, the non-McGregor fans.
The non-McGregor fans were like, yeah, fuck you guys. And I'm sure Floyd was one of them who made $35,000 on the fight because he bet 50 grand on the fight, showed off the ticket, and went, of course I bet against him. Always bet against him. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
And there you go. That's this week's Fight Net Radio because apparently the pool closes at
I got
6.
one more thing. One more thing, Lee. We got to find the Gervonta Davis pay-per-view numbers. Has anyone seen them? They're missing.
Oh.
No, I have not seen them, Andrew. What do you know that I do not know?
Well, all I know is Leonard Ellerby saying around 215,000, which means probably not even close to 150. What do you know? What do you think? Yeah, it doesn't look like they did very good because there's no release of any numbers.
My humble opinion, nobody watched it.
Right.
I think we're the only ones who watched it. Actually, let me reframe that. Miguel's the only one who watched it. The rest of us did not.
Let's rephrase that. I did watch it. Did I pay for it? No.
No. Nobody paid for it. Why would anybody pay for that travesty? I think that I streamed it for about 5 minutes too and was completely irritated by the whole fiasco as well. But that's awesome, Andrew.
I streamed it from the Facebook Live. Let me tell you, it was very entertaining hearing the people in the stands. You should have heard how many times he's going to catch that body. He's going to catch that body. Oh, he's going to catch that body. That's all they say in the stands. I swear to God, it's hilarious watching the fight with the guys in their cell phones. But yeah, that's how I watched it. You know, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good.
There you go. Should I stop or should I keep walking? Because I'm going to encounter the same security guard, and it kind of makes for a fun ending to this show. I'm walking with my lapel mic. It's a ghost town because apparently they're getting ready for the tornado here in Las Vegas. Is that what it looks like?
I'll be safe, you guys. Hey,
Way.
Sunday.
Miguel, any stories we missed?
No. Just a heads up. I'm gonna be going out of town this weekend, so it was Sunday, either evening or Monday. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Yeah, we're gonna be a little late again for the show, but you guys got a Wednesday show. Yeah, listen, Fight Net Radio fans, enjoy it. You got this show. Heard me get thrown out of a cabana and a pool that I bribed everybody for. I mean, how you beat that? That's good stuff. And there he is. Thank you again. I'm sorry.
Tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
It's all
so
good.
If you want to come back then?
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So there you guys go. Andrew, are there any stories that we missed that you want to talk about?
Oh, did we lose him?
Andrew.
Oh, we might have lost Andrew.
No. Did we lose Andrew?
I think we did. I'm not sure what happened. I think we did.
Did we yield to Andrew? I'm trying to look at my screen. We lost Andrew, who just bailed.
Yeah.
No, it
yeah,
says 2 of 3. It means he somehow, maybe he bailed.
Oh.
I guess it's just you and me, Miguel.
All right.
I guess that's the show. What a weird ending. Kind of just hit it out there at the end.
That pool kicking out
was
a great fucking
ending. You think everybody's going to like this part? Like, this is the part
I was expecting the guy to be like, you and take your show, get the fuck out of here.
That'd have been great, right?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, go to fightnetradio.media. Also, check out @FightMeMig. Thank you all for listening, and we will get to a show next week. Thanks, everyone.
Fight Night Radio! FightNetRadio.com with Andrew and Lee. Talking boxing, combat, sports, comedy, football, and everything kick-ass. All on FightNetRadio.com. Fight Night!